When I graduated from university, I didn't know what career I wanted to choose. I had a lot of interests, but which interest should I pursue and try and turn into a job? So back then, I was really interested in martial arts. Here's me. But I didn't want to turn that into a career. Here's my face. I was really interested in, and I was studying philosophy. But one of the philosophers I most enjoyed reading late at night in my dorm room recently said, philosophy is a bunch of empty ideas. And there's no jobs in philosophy anyway. So that was out. Being a slightly weird kid, I was really interested in investing and finance. And I'd even taken a portion of the small savings I had and invested them into gold when I was a teenager. Now, I knew that following the finance route would be a really well-paid career, but I was wondering, maybe I wouldn't make as much difference as I could in that. It wouldn't help society. So in the end, it wouldn't really be that fulfilling. So I was left with the question, how could I choose a fulfilling career? And maybe many of you have asked yourselves the same question. And I thought about this question, I realized I didn't even know how to go about choosing a career. And I, read books, I went to careers advisors, I just couldn't really find the information I really needed. What would I be good at in the end? What skills should I learn now? Which areas is there a great social need where I could make a difference? These unanswered questions led me to kind of delay the decision by a few years. Instead of actually settling on a career, I founded an organization dedicated to researching the question of which career to choose. And this organization is called 80,000 Hours. That's the number of hours you have in your working life. That's a long time, so it's worth really doing some serious research and trying to work out how best to use them. And we help you do some of this research, and we publish all of our findings as part of a free online careers guide at 80,000hours.org. Here's some of the team today, surrounded by laptops and whiteboards as normal. So, you might at this point be thinking to yourself, well, you hardly look like you're above the legal age to drink. What could you tell me about choosing a career? Well, it's true that one of the main things we've discovered is that we have a lot to learn. Choosing a career is a complex problem, and not enough serious research has been done into how best to do it. But we have spent the last 3 years doing research with academics at the University of Oxford. Most importantly, we've coached hundreds of people on how to make real career decisions. All this research and thinking has led us to the conclusion that careers advice today focuses on the wrong thing. Throughout most of history, people basically did what their parents did. Some people in the 1980s thought that greed is good, and they focused on making money. But our generation grew up with some different careers advice. That's that you should follow your passion. You can see the use of this phrase increased dramatically from the mid-90s. But today I think we need to move beyond follow your passion as the careers advice to focus on. And instead of asking what our own interests and passions are, we should be focusing much more on what we can do for other people and to make the world a better place. Okay, so let's go back to my decision. How would follow your passion apply to me? I think what follow your passion tells you to do is 3 things. The first is to identify your greatest interests. Second, find careers that match those interests. Thirdly, pursue those careers no matter what. Finding a fulfilling career is just a matter of having the courage to pursue your passion. In my case, I was interested in martial arts and philosophy, remember? So which career should I pick? Any ideas? I should obviously become a Shaolin monk. Buddhism and martial arts together. Okay, so what's the theory behind this advice? You get passion match, then you really enjoy your work, you're really motivated, so you're more likely to be successful. And if you're successful doing something you're passionate about, then you have a fulfilling career. And spelled out like that, this really does sound like pretty reasonable advice, right? Maybe you can get behind that. But let's just think about it in a bit more depth. Turns out, if you follow your passion, you're probably going to fail. Why do I say that? Let's look at the data. A survey of 500 Canadian students found that their greatest passions were ice hockey and dance. 90% said that they were passionate about sport, art, music, something like that. But if we look at census data, we can see that only 3% of jobs are in art, sport, and music. So it just has to be the case that even if only 1 in 10 people followed their passion, still the majority would fail to be successful. So this first step just doesn't work. I think the second step is also not reliable.